Good morning. It is the spring equinox 2022, and it's Michelle's birthday as well. So Donna and I were going to spend some time honoring her and looking at the new year moving forward. That's all I'm going to say, Donna. Let's look at this.
Awesome. Okay, so the family tree is going to be the thing for 2022. And understanding that DNA is the ascension spiral, we'll begin to understand that there's an electromagnetic pulsing that is happening inside of everyone. And if you share blood, then you've got this quantum entanglement thing going that Greg Braden's been talking about for a long time. In other words, each one of us looks like a little hologram, just like this. And when we look at the vibrational code, this part right here that you've seen us going over for the last couple of years, this tells us how the spine works. Now, when we get into the birth chart, this shows us the ascension spiral up through the spine. And so the two work together. And so if you look at this, the spine is the divining rod. And so when we do this vertical code, it tells us about someone's divine blueprint, how they connect with someone through these glands. This is the water body. What their life purpose is, okay? And so it's all frequency. And then what their legacy is or their destiny. And so these are written documents on planet Earth, on everyone. And the first breath that we take imprints the body. It's why Diane and I, being twin sisters, we can have the same DNA, but her breath was 7 minutes after mine. And Michelle's was 11 and a half months. Well, Michele was a little less than 12 months older than us, right, Di?
Yeah, and what's really cool is, I just didn't say this, that the equinox is officially, it's spring and the new year at 9:33 a.m. this morning. We looked this up, and Michele was born at what time?
9:27. Yeah,
that's so cool. So she's totally here with us, wanting us to share her chart. And I think what you said you were going to do is we were going to look at that and learn how to use the current chart with the information that you've been sharing about the codex.
Yes. So this is an astrological year. Mm-hmm. And when we look at this, this is today. We start right here with Aries. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is Pisces. And we know that Pisces is the unseen. It's the mystic side. And we see that Michelle's got a little bit going on in that house.
It's kind of blurry.
Oh, is it? Let's see.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
I think people could probably zoom in.
So what we do is we actually begin with the vertical code because it gives us the key to understand this chart. Does that make sense, Diane?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And how do we get the vertical code again?
These numbers right here are the vertical code. And so we look at the day of birth. This tells us about how they do a 28-day cycle.
So if you were born on the 26th of the month.
Here's Michele.
Okay, let's
do her.
Okay.
Michelle's born on the 20th.
Okay.
And so anytime we code something out, we reduce it down. And so a 20 on the body is going to be the adrenal glands and the feet.
Okay.
Okay. And does that remind you of Michele? Remember, she was always in the light cycle. Just the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah.
Didn't have to wear a stitch of makeup or anything.
No.
And so she was very, Aphrodite.
Yeah, for sure.
And so if we take her birth digits and we add them up, we get this number. It's 22-4. I know it's hard to see.
Yeah, the yellow is.
This says 22. So if we add up
Okay.
March 20th, 1961, which by the way, she's born the same year as Lady Diana, has a lot in common with her. I found a lot of people born in that 1961 year. That year has a frequency. Remember, none of those people could spell, Diane.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that I meet who are born in 1961 have super wonky lives, super wonky. Steve Griffith was also born that year.
So can you, go back to how you get the
22-4. So we would add up 3 plus 2 plus 1.
320 plus 1961. So you'd add all of those up.
Yeah. And so then we get the 22 here. And so if we go back over here, 22 is a master number. And so that's not easy. It's not easy. And the 22, that's 2 adrenals. And so here she is back to meeting the fertility cycle again. And remember how sick Michele was? Like they put her on birth control because her periods were so painful.
Right.
And so much of this started after the fallout from the radiation. It really changed health in our family. So
we had that in Utah, just a side note.
Yeah, just a side note. And so Michele could not function without a calendar either. It's why she was always planning ahead. You know, she had the whole holidays planned out. It's all this 2 influence, which has to do with the circadian rhythm. So the adrenals, we know, sit on top of the kidneys and they look like triangles. They're capstones. And if you look at the kidneys, they look like twins. They're facing each other with a little hat on. And so those adrenal glands run the 28-day fertility cycle. So Michele was all about that. And once her chemistry got out of balance with all those meds she was taking, she couldn't sleep. So she turned to alcohol to get to sleep at night. So here's Michelle's name right here. The vibration of her name is an 8. We know 8s and 4s are karmic.
And so you can look up numerology and how to put someone's name on what's that chart called?
Pythagorean calculator.
Pythagorean calculator, and that's how you get the 71-8.
Yeah, and we actually on our website over here, we have the crystal and code book that you can purchase if you want to have it, you know, right there. So you just come over to the website. We've got a little store on here where you can download the crystal and code book. It walks you through it. There's actually 8 videos with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's come back over here and finish Michelle's test case here. Okay. And so the 71-8, let's look at 22-2-2-4. So she's thymus gland, just like you, Di. And if you look at Cece and Michael, they both have 4 life purpose numbers. And so she's got that in common with them, which is really, really big because it's the thymus gland. We know that 4s and 8s are karmic. 4s and 8s are karmic. And so if you choose this type of birth date, her triad is actually 2, 4, 8. And do you know what that is? It's the manifestation triad. So she manifests things super quickly based in where her heart was. If it was all for one and one for all, she's manifesting. If it's dividing on herself, she took herself out. Right? Okay, so we come down here, but she actually opened the gateway. And so you can see that I put her code right here.
Yeah.
All right. And so this is the vertical code. And the way that we want to look at this is picture the spine being right down the center of the orb here. Okay. And so that vertical code is going to sit right in here. This is where the spine sits, and here's where the arms sit. Okay. And so on everyone's chart, I basically went in and casted this figure. And then I went and saw what is the character and what's the number.
Now, is
at
this
the
her
North
actual
Pole.
birth time, or
This is her actual birth chart.
Okay.
And I thought it would be fun to look at this first because her
Yeah.
house of health right here, Diane, the 6th house. Can you see this?
Yeah, zoom out a little. Yeah.
All right. Do you see what's in there?
I see Aquarius. No,
Uh,
no, no, and
let me zoom in here.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
All right. I see
Much
a
better, huh?
retrograde. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if we have our little reference chart, we can go look this symbol up. I happen to know it's Neptune.
Okay.
And so our whole
Is that
family
other one Mercury?
This right here is Scorpio. See how it's
Okay.
got a little
Yeah, I
barb on
get
the
it
tail?
mixed up. Mhm.
Yeah. The Virgo, this is the house of Virgo.
Okay.
So when we look at these 12 houses, consider these being these little characters' homes. And
Mhm.
so they each have a house that they live in, but they play musical chairs around the outside.
Mhm.
And so they basically go and they visit each other's home. And so the house of health is Virgo. And it's why this has been coming up so much on YouTube videos relative to the equinox, is
Okay.
we've got this special Virgo, Pisces. So anytime you look at this wheel, you're going to see that there's partners here. And so
Yeah,
Pisces and Virgo
are always across from each
it's like
other.
a teeter-totter, right? And so
Yeah.
we've got Aries and Libra. And
Mhm.
Scotty's got an Aries sun and a Libra moon. We've got Capricorn and Cancer. And so Stephen's got a Capricorn moon and a Cancer sun. And so in our family,
Okay.
we've got a lot of that cardinal stuff going on. So if we come back over here and we look at Michelle's chart, what does Neptune rule, Di? Pisces.
Pisces, yeah.
And if you think about that, that's Zeus's staff.
Mhm.
And she's got the number 10, which we know is the Merlin code. And
Mhm.
when I say Merlin code, I say that because all computers are made up of ones and zeros. Everything on a computer is a 1 and a 0.
Okay.
Now that we're getting into 3D, we're actually going to look at the body as being an electronic body. And so that's what we're doing, is solving the crystalline code. Now she's got Libra here, so it's all about justice.
Okay.
So she's
We've
got
been
Libra
going
in-
about 13 minutes, just so
Okay.
you know.
She's got, all right, thank you for keeping time.
Yeah.
So it is retrograded. And so
Okay.
her house of health, this is a 9, humanitarian, Libra.
Right.
So she's all about changing the system.
So when you
through her
have
health.
planets in your health house, you're going to be dealing with health issues.
Health issues, yes. And we know that Neptune, that's feet,
Okay.
because it's Pisces. And so if Michele loses her footing, she's done.
Which she did.
Yeah. And so the other interesting thing is every time you look at a planetary chart like this, you're going to see an extra planet hovering over. See how there's an extra one right there?
Mhm.
Okay, this is the house of Pisces. So it's another house of health. And she's got, I always have to see if that guy has antennas. So she's got, this is Venus. So it's all about love. Her hidden agenda, she's got Aries in her Pisces house. And was she Spitfire, Di? She would say it like it was, roll right off her tongue. And so this is a 2911. And she also has her moon. So this is her magnet. Wherever the moon is, it's huge. And so look, it's a 20 Taurus, Di. And so our dad is Taurus. And there's Michelle's 20 again. And we've got Taurus over that Pisces house. But what I want to show you is over the house of health here, we've got Scorpio. And you know that Scorpio symbolizes sex, death, and transformation.
Okay.
And so anytime you have Scorpio emphasis in the health house, you can see there's going to be a quick shift. And so this wasn't
So you
random.
can see the 4 on this side and the 4 on the other side is what you're calling the hands.
Yes, right. And so here you can see I put the 4 Sag, which is
Okay.
interesting. And then the 4 Gemini. So Gemini and Sag are partners too.
Okay.
And
that's because they're on the opposite sides of each other on those
exactly.
houses.
Yeah. So let's look at where her north node is. And actually,
Okay.
let's come back. Here's her numbers. We want to look for 20s and 2s and 22s and 8s. Okay.
Okay.
And so look right there. This is right here is Mars. And this is in her second house. And the second house has to do, this is electro, this is personality, head. And this is magnetism. This is the throat. And so this is Taurus. And so Michelle's whole magnetic field had Mars in it.
Is that how you show up in the world, or?
This has to do with, this is your body and this is your resources. So this is
gotcha. Yeah, resources.
Yeah. And then here we get into siblings.
Okay.
And then this is the home. And the 5th house is the personality. And you can also see these as these, because we're doing the same thing here. And so numbers always go the same thing. House of health. This is partnerships. This is sex, death, and transformation. This is the student. The house of Sag is the student. So let's see, what does she have in there? Oh, that's where her Capricorn is, Di. And it's at 18. So anywhere we see an 8, that's a big deal. So she's got oh my God, Di, that's her Saturn. Is sitting right in there, and it's in its own
So
sign.
it's a ton of information that you could really go look into every single one of these things that you're talking about.
Yeah, all we look at are patterns.
Okay.
So here's Jupiter, and Jupiter has to do with shifting to joy. But this is the Sag house, and Jupiter rules Sag. So there isn't anything about her death that was random. She actually came in to thread the needle's eye. We can see this. This is her house of career, Di. And the 10th house, this is the house of Capricorn, which has to do with career. And she's got all her Pisces in there. We've got Mercury. Oh my God, her Chiron is sitting right next to Mercury, conjunct. So this is the wounded healer. And you can see that she's on her head because this is the south node.
That's a south node, yeah.
Yeah, and so she actually orients to the home. Look at this. She's got a stellium in the Cancer house. She orients to the home, and look, there's Uranus at 22.
Look at all that retrograde.
Look at this 22 here, Di.
Oh.
And so her north node's in there. There's her 22. Her oldest grandchild is born on the 22nd. And so basically, this is Michelle's elemental code. If we were to look at these numbers right here, this is how the light moves through her divining rod, her spine. Have you seen a picture of the Ankh before, Di?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the human body, the brain and the spine with the cross right here, the symbol of the Ankh is the symbol of the head, the spine, and the arms. And so when you hold the Ankh, it's a symbol of the intentional field, because whatever you focus up here, it should be focused down here on the divining rod. And so when we connect with Michele, it's all light cycle. We just saw that, her whole life purpose had to do with creating the home, the slowed down home. And as long as she had those resources, but look, here's Pluto, Di. And Pluto is the planet connected with Scorpio, which again, that's the 8, because it's the 8th house, sex, death, and transformation. And anywhere you have Pluto, this is connected with our uranium from the fallout, from the bombs. Okay, so she's got that right next, and this is all Virgo. Look at how she's got Virgo in the home. She needed things to just be so. 6s are associated with addiction. Anytime you see sixes, you're going to see addiction because it has to do with the pineal gland. And it also has to do with the house of Virgo. And if you look at the number 6, just look at it. Here it is. Looks like the womb.
Mhm.
And so the 666 is a symbol of 3 women in agreement. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
So Diane, what's your takeaway from this? Should we look at her transit?
Yeah, I thought, I
Let's
think
do that
that's what
really
we were
quick.
going to do today, because
Okay,
people
here's
might
the
be
transit.
interested in looking theirs up. So this app that you're using is called
Oh, and it's wait just a second.
Time Passages.
Time Passages. Yeah, keep going, Di. Let me pull this up. I gotta
And
enter the date.
so I mean, when I look at this info, there's a learning thing in here where you can go look at what the different houses mean and all of that. You do have to pay for this app, but it's pretty great. And you can compare people's charts. So that's a lot of fun. Whenever my kids meet someone new, and ask me to compare their charts, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so this is today. This is this her birthday, or is
this
her birth
transit
time?
It's her
I know,
transit. And
is it
a lot of
based on
people,
her birth time? Did you put in her birth time or the equinox of
I was going to ask you
9:33?
I was going to ask you what I should do. I put the equinox in.
I think that's what you should do.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. So a lot of people would say, well, why are you looking at her chart when she's dead? Well, she's not dead.
No,
She's
she gave me a
right
big
here.
hug before we got on this meeting.
And she wants you guys to know that she's speaking to each of us through numbers. Diane is the numbers queen. She got us all looking at that. And as we start to use these tools, Claire and Jordan both have the crystal and code book. They both know how to do this. They just don't know how to take the astrology terminology right now that's dual. And it has everybody not understanding what ascension is. So ascension is being able to look at these transits, because all these little symbols in here have to do with elementals, archetypes. There's 12 archetypes discussed in psychology. And these are the 12 personality types, the 12 languages, the 12 tribes. And so if we look at
the 12
Michele,
signs.
look at this. Yeah, all that.
12 houses.
Look at this. Look at this monster, Diane.
Okay, I need you to.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what?
What?
This is her 11th house. And if we look at Ella Rose and Nico, if we look at Ella Rose and Nico, they both have a stellium in their 11th house. We really should go through each of these kids' charts, because if we did a synastry chart between them and Michele has such a strong connection with Drew. When I was saying Drew has the pedophile pattern, it's the 22. It's the 22. So it's not personal. It's something that we've got to get. It's a master number related to 2022. And it's why he chose to come in.
He doesn't just have that. Many people do.
Well, Carol Embry. So anyone who's born on the 22nd, it's just like Claire and Mom being born on the 26th. It's kind of a hex to be born on that day, because it's your fertility cycle. So
let's focus on Michele's thing. Yeah.
Okay, look at here.
Because it is, let's see, we've been going 22 or 3 minutes.
Oh, cool. So let's just wrap up with this, okay? You guys want to get time passages. And if you go to the website or the social media, we've got the rest of the codes. It's really easy to do, but if you want the book with the videos, you can go over to the website. Let's just look at this, Di.
So yeah, what do we do with the information that we can look at today? That looks kind of blurry. There we go.
Okay.
So does this show something that one might be working on today, or is it just information?
Look at all this. Look at all the green right here. Okay. And so this is Michele's galactic gateway for this new astrological new year. This is where she's standing for this year. This is her hopes and dreams. And so her career, her house of career, she's got Saturn. So she's hoping that we're going to pass her legacy on. This is Venus and this is Mars. And this is all in her Capricorn house right here. This stellium is particularly interesting because here's the sun and it's conjunct with Neptune. Remember, that's what took her out. Her Neptune took her out, and now the sun is shining on it. She needs mom and dad to know because this is mom's planet, Jupiter. And here's Mercury. So this is all about thinking through the joy, through the water, the light, and opening up the wounded healer. That's how this progresses when you go through the stairway to heaven. So her wounded healer, Aries 11th house. Pisces 8, Diane, you can't make this up. This is so magical. She's talking to us right now. Oh, I can't even believe this. She's got this Aquarian right here.
So
Di.
she's saying to bring the joy through, or what are you seeing?
Yes. It's all about us focusing our mind in the light cycle. See how this looks like a cross with half of a heart?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exalted Sagittarius brings the most joy. Just think about mom. Sagittarius is all about nature and being able to be in rhythm with the circadian rhythm. And is mom an oracle? She absolutely is. She's never understood it. So there's the Neptune. This is our family symbol is Neptune. You and I have Neptune in the 10th house at 13 degrees. And so you and I are on the hex for talking about Neptune to the family, because this is a house of Capricorn. It's our career.
There's
so
another
we
stellium
talk about this. Yeah. So the stelliums are in the 10th and 11th house. This is about finishing her work for her. And that's why I went up on Black Mountain and took the shadow in. So the other
So what
thing
does the green mean versus the red? That's a pretty basic question, I know.
It is. And so just think of the colors.
Okay.
She's got so much support there. If you look at what it's anchored to, it's anchored to
like
her
healing.
moon. It is. It is. And then the blue is also super helpful. And you can see that the moon is now moving over here, stabilizing her house of health. This is why she died, because of this right here.
Right.
And the moon is
all
stabilizing
focused
it now.
in. It's like an arrow pointing at that.
It's saying, and this is mom, Diane. This is the moon, the magnet, and the 29 mom's code.
The moon is your mother in everybody's chart.
It is in everybody's chart, and here's the father, and you can see the sun is. You can see it in that chart too. So,
what's that mean so about mom on that side?
This right here, mom needs to come out of the closet. Mom has never understood her gifts. So 29, Christine's life purpose number, Michelle's daughter, is 29.
I know that mom is tapped in and knows her gift. I just don't think she thinks it's that big of a deal.
It is. Yeah. Mom taught us how to live in the light cycle. And you can see that Michelle going over on the bridge and us being able to finish her karma for her is simply us connecting her to her children and her grandchildren.
Sorry, I saw that other one pointing at that house. Yeah.
This one right here. So there's Uranus. Remember, Di?
And the fourth house.
Remember Uranus? The fourth house is Cancer. So this is her head.
Oh yeah. The north
Remember,
node.
This is her on her regular birth chart. She has a stellium in the house of home, the house of Cancer.
That's right.
Yeah, because that's her whole world is home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. She's the Wizard of Oz. And so look at how it's connected right to Saturn up here, Di. This line right here this is all karma. And see how that's 20 Aquarius? There's her number. And so she's saying, hey, you guys, will you get the thorn out of my side, please?
And how could we
That's her
do
number
that?
right there. And look down here, is her 22, Diane. Oh my God. And that can't be any closer to her vertical code.
Right.
So what are we going to do to support her? We need to alert the kids so that we can start looking at this. This this family tree goes right along with ancestry. And so our grandmother Woodland was very much connected to genealogy, wasn't she, Di?
Yeah, she
And
was.
we're going to build the bridge with this.
So if you said that we need to alert the kids, what would we tell them?
To listen to this video.
Okay.
And
then
what
is Michele telling us for the new upcoming?
Michelle's asking us to finish her life backward. It's right there.
What does that mean?
It means understand that her life wasn't random. Start looking at the code. We want to use the circadian rhythm because that's what Michelle's all about. It's living in the light.
My takeaway was that moving forward, we need to focus on the joy.
Absolutely. And joy is the fifth phase of homotoxicology. But the way that we do that, I'm so glad you said this, is we have to start paying attention to the source of our triggers. They're inside our body. And so Michelle's code right here, this code is also her shadow code. And so blame. If you look at the twos, there's going to be a tendency for Michele to be attracting blame. And if you look at the 7, that one has to do with COVID. It's the violet flame. And the 8, the crossover point, that the 8 actually integrates once we open these. So this is the 0 die, Michele, grounds in 0. And once someone's in shock, they go into reverse polarity. And then the whole conversation is shame, blame, guilt, scarcity, outcasting, death. And this is the whole conversation in the world that Michele needs us to shift. Okay.
Okay. So that was a lot more info besides besides just the chart, which I thought that's what we were sticking to.
Let's just make it really, really simple here. I have to talk about this because every time we talk about a trigger, we have to focus on our part.
Okay.
The trigger inside.
I just wanted to keep the video close to 30 minutes.
Okay. And we're right there, aren't we?
We're over. So okay. You could do another one on this part. We started at 9:11 and it's 9:43.
Well, this is perfect. I just wanted people to walk away knowing that after doing these numbers and your chart, you have your shadow code as well. Okay.
Let's get this uploaded.
Okay. Thank you, Di. Love you so much. Happy birthday, Michele. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Yeah, let's stop.
Okay, we sound like mom.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys.